Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out, join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.
Good morning and welcome to my podcast. You have reached or you've entered How to Fight CPS with me, Bob Pace, your host. It's a warm welcome because today is Sunday, the day after that tragic day of December 7th. Now, notice one thing that the message you heard from my attorney, Vincent Davis, had the date of the 7th. I think that should be the 14th, but I'll let you know further on that. That may have been a typo error or something there. I don't know, but he's on every Saturday. So Vincent Davis is my attorney, and I want to thank him very much for what he does for everybody. Excuse me, got my water running my nose. My dawn patrol at surfing in the morning is ocean water wants to come out of my nose. Anyway, uh, he gives so much of his time, and I thank very much for what he does too. And Mr. Davis, and you need yourself a proven dependency, family, juvenile attorney background. He's the guy. You can call into my office at 888-888-6582 and speak to him, and he can make a time with him and pay his retainer, and he'll represent you and will get your kids back. He has a proven track record. He has 35 years of fighting CPS experience. Not only does he fight to get your children back, when your case is done, he'll do a lawsuit, a civil lawsuit based on your constitutional or civil rights that have been violated, such as when the social worker commits perjury in court, lies on the witness stand, which was in my case too. But he's the best out there. He's definitely a pit bull. He'll fight for you, and he'll go the extra mile. He was my attorney. He helped me get my family back together. And I had a rough case in CPS. My case in CPS was awful. And I lost one child. I lost my home. I lost my credit. I lost the rest of my family members that don't want to talk. My family of eight's been reduced down to a family of four. I have 6 children, 3 older and 3 younger. And I have 42 years of marriage experience of raising a family. My older kids are doing really good. They have children too, so I have grandchildren. But unfortunately, I was going through tumultuous times in 2010. After working for 45 years, I lost my job in the summer of 2010 through no fault of my own. Also, it seemed to be that time that I got involved in CPS. They were constantly calling and accused me of things and my wife that were not true or anything there. We later found out, or later discovered, that the accuser was a layperson. It was my in laws, my family's mother, father, and three sisters and a brother. Were constantly calling from Ohio to California and saying how awful it was to that we were raising our kids incorrectly. And I didn't really know about CPS. I talked to them, and when they asked me, like, you're not paying your utility bills, I said, well, here is my all my utility bills. I showed them all paid. Or your kids are not in school. And so here are their grade reports. So you're getting A's and B's. And, when they said things that were true, in fact, I let them in my house. My house is a beautiful home at the time. It was only a mile from the beach. It's a $2 million home. And each child had their own bedroom, own bathroom, and they went to school. But this went on for 5 years to eventually they got a hold of the local police who had a detective follow me or find me where I was. And of course, they told me they needed to see my home and meet me at my home. And I didn't have anything to hide. I didn't think anything I had in the house would be any problem. But they had everybody out there. They had 5 firemen, 2 code enforcement, 3 social workers, 2 uniformed policemen, and the detective all standing in front of a home. It's a private neighborhood, so it really made me stand out and look bad. I mean, we have CCNRs. You really can't do very much without someone questioning it. But anyway, it seems like the word of lay people is very, very uh, believable. And that's what I was saying. There's 2 ways of reporting it: either lay people or the professionals. The professionals are your doctors and nurses and your teachers and counselors and principals, caregivers, and those kinds of people that go to school to learn and train. And I want to welcome several people into my room. In fact, I need to put up one of the things in here. If you're going to text a message, it's important with the format. Um, I want to welcome the first person in the room, and oh boy, Lauren, I guess is the name. Okay, so going to sound dumb, but with confused here. Got a notification alert. Okay, wow, this came in yesterday. I'll see if I can help you, Lauren. Um, anyway, nothing is ever too dumb to ask in here, Lauren. Um, but confused. Got a notification alert. Clicked, and here I am, December 7th at 11:07 a.m. in the USA. And you just sneezed ocean water. I'm on here live. Okay, the reason why some of you may not know, I'm a surfer. I've been surfing since age 7. I at 4 o'clock in the AM go and check out the surf every day. If it's up, I go out. Even though I'm 75 years old, I still go out there. And when you go through the waves and you surf for a while, you get seawater in your nose. And I was just blowing it this morning. And I'm sorry that may have confused you. But I'm glad you're in the USA. I don't know where in the USA you are and what this does with CPS. I'm here to help out people. If you read my verbiage here, to help out people there that need help. And so no need to be sorry. I was just trying to break the ice, trying to make the room in here. You see, I've been in here for over a year. I've done over 700 shows. I'm on twice a day. I think I do more podcasts than anyone else does. I'm on YouTube, and I use the StreamYard application. You find me on Facebook, Fighting CPS. I'm here to help you because I'm a family man, and I consider you part of my family. I want to help you. I want to help you, Lauren. Um, and Lauren says, you're in need of of speaking with someone who does have some sense, because the lawyers are worthless. Yes, a lot of the lawyers are, even the paid lawyers. Your private or your attorney that you got, your court appointed, is going to be worthless because they have a caseload of 30 more clients and they won't help protect you. And I know that CPS, and I call CPS the Child Protection System, which includes Department of Children's Services, DCS. And every state and every county will have different names, but I use CPS. So they do lie. I know that they lie. There's so many cases they lie. They get away with it. And they do violate all your civil and constitutional rights. Yes, I know how hard it is, Lauren. I know how hard it is. What part of the world, what part of the USA are you from? What city and state or county and state are you from? And I'm so glad you've joined us here, Lauren. Yeah, that phone number is my office. I give you my own phone number that you can call and talk on this show. Here, let me go ahead and uh, let me put you my number up here. Okay, that's my number. You can call in. My phone is live at 626 698 0990. And I am live. And I'm just checking right now, make sure it's all fine, and it shows fine. So, yeah, you can call in right now, and that sounds great. You can call in right now. So that's my number there. See what you're saying here further, Lauren, from the USA. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm glad you found me. Lauren, I'm glad you found me. Okay. Northeast Tennessee. Okay. Glad to have another Tennessean. I had a Tennessee yesterday or the day before. So I'm glad that you are on here. Lauren, give me a smile, may, if possible, and I'll call. Which number you want to call? Okay, you call the 626 690990, and you can talk live on the podcast. I'd love to have you. I'd love to have you live on my podcast. Hello, Zach, and welcome, Zach. And I'm glad to see you, Zach. Let me read you comment. As bad as I hate to say it is, we don't have rights unless we're belligerently fighting for them. Anyone in courtroom you didn't hire gets paid by the state. Well, the courtroom is all a bunch of friends. It's like the good old boys. You know, they go and have lunch together, they play golf together. The judge, the social worker attorneys, the court appointed attorneys for the children, the court appointed attorneys for the parents. And they want you to use court appointed attorneys. Because if you get a real attorney, somebody like Mr. Davis, a pit bull of attorney who has a background in dependency law, family law, and juvenile law, they're going to beat the pants off the child protection system. They want you to use court appointed attorneys. And it sounds great, they're free. But you know what you get for free? You get nothing but a lazy lawyer who just knows about legal law, doesn't know about dependency law, who's lazy, who will not fight for your case, and they got too many other cases. They don't have time to fight for your case. So, good morning, and I love it. Good morning. Yes, I was talking earlier to Lauren, who I was just got back from surfing this morning, and I was blowing my nose. And I had salt water still left in my nose. Um, uh, there you are, Melissa, Lauren. You're back again. Okay, you'll call my number again. Okay, that is good. I'm glad that you will. Again, my number is 626-698-0990. And Lauren is from Tennessee, Eastern Tennessee, there. And Lauren says, yes, very true. I'm just thankful I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, so a little bit understanding of things. So I know the BS is not right, and I will fight them um, and help. Yes, I'm glad that you're positive thinking, Lauren. The problem being, Lauren from Tennessee, is you need to know dependency law. That's the law that CPS, the Child Protection System, uses to take your children, to steal your children, to traffic your children into foster care, to alienate your children from you and the mother of the children. The mother and father are being alienated by CPS orchestrating. It's a money thing that CPS has got addicted to. They've become rogue. And what I mean by that is it's $1 trillion business they make. They have a incentive program that was signed into law in 1997 by Bill Clinton that encourages the child protection system to have the kids adopted in foster care instead of doing family reunification, which studies have shown that family reunification is the biological parents are the best things for families. And so you need to use the biological parents, not foster care, which are really bad. So Lauren further says, and anticipate. Zach, I don't know where you're from, Zach, but I'd like to know. I know Lauren's from Eastern Tennessee. It's hard to hire an attorney here in West Virginia, certified in abuse, neglect, etc., because they're all tied up in court with their appointed cases. I've heard the same story. You're from West Virginia. What part of West Virginia, Zach? And also, when you're looking for an attorney, there should be 2 questions you need to ask them, whether it's the law firm or the attorney. Question 1, are you a dependency family juvenile attorney who has fought CPS, the Child Protection System? If the answer is yes, question 2, have you ever sued CPS and won a civil suit in federal or state court? And if the answer is yes, then you got yourself an attorney that you can work with, because most attorneys will not sue CPS. Most attorneys are afraid of CPS. They won't fight. So if you have yes to those 2 questions, you're better off. Now, Vincent Davis is yes to both those answers. He's won millions of dollars doing lawsuits. And Mr. Davis will practice law anywhere in the 50 states or in Northern California. Right now, his office is in Arcadia in the south of Los Angeles. He does cases in Orange County, LA County, San Bernardino County, Riverside County, and Merced County in Northern California. Right now, that's the case he has. He has a case in Oklahoma he's fighting. So I'm telling you right now that he's available if you want to talk to him at 888-888-6582 and want to uh, ask about his retainer and so forth. The only additional expenses he has, because legal fees are determined by the complexity of your case and how long the case is going on. It has no difference what state or where it's at. The only additional expenses are his per diem expenses, transportation by air, transportation by car, hotel accommodations, and food accommodations, because he is operating from home. He doesn't have a lot of those things there. So those are all added on to there. Now, Zach from West Virginia, um, pointing out how awful the attorneys be. Zach says it's hard to go if you fight them and try to stand on principle. And just because you stand on um, does not mean that the court does. That is hard to swallow. Yes. You have to understand the judge, the social workers, attorneys, the court appointed attorneys, and if you don't have court and you have regular attorneys, well, the regular attorneys, ones you pay for, have principles and scruples. But none of those people in the courtroom, the clerk, the bailiff, all those people in the courtroom, they're palsy wowsy. It's a pal game. It's a good old boys. And you're not going to win unless you have a pit bull of an attorney, one that will fight, And you need to have one to fight your CPS case. And I know it's hard to swallow, Zach from West Virginia. Now, BS has been on before, and I forgot your name, but I think it's Bella. And I want to welcome Bella back to my room. My commissioner is wanting to investigate your commissioners. Well, the commissioners, here's the thing is, if you want your kids back, you have to go with the system. I'm sorry, you cannot change the system overnight. CPS is bad. It needs to be changed. There is a senator from Georgia, Nancy Schaefer, who in her 70s was murdered, and she'd been fighting CPS all her life, and she wanted to end CPS. You have to make changes within the system for changes that happen. You have to. You have to run for office, and you have to be part in making the changes. And it's really hard. Now, Zach, I know you say law stands on law. And by the way, BS Bella, I forgot where you're from. BS. Lauren, Zach, yes, you are absolutely correct. And I'm realistic and realize it's not easy at all. But bottom line is, a parent like I feels crap and fighting him as hard as I can. You have to. You have to be a fighter. I've been fighting for 15 years. And it took me 3 years with a paid attorney selling my home, my $2 million home, and paying my attorney to get my kids back. And it was hard. Bella, who is BS, the commissioners continue to funnel funds to CPS even when there is not an active lawsuit against them. A, hospital and CPS for filing false reports, and CPS for colluding with the problem. I don't know where you say there's commissioners involved in CPS, because all the child protection systems have no board of directors, have no supervisors. They have a director that's in charge of each county CPS, but they're not controlled by the state, and they're not transparent to the state, and they're not either with the federal level either. Money is gone easily from the federal government to the state to the county. And I'm talking about trillions of dollars a year, not millions, not billions, but trillions of money they make. They make so much money, it's unbelievable. Off my kids in Orange County, California, they were making $20,000 off each of my three children in custody. That's $60,000 a month. Multiply that times a bunch of kids, and you'll see how much millions and billions and trillions of dollars that is. Now, Lauren says probably losing the fight. Yes, I know, but all I can do is you try. I understand your idea, your focus. From my experience has shown you do what they ask. You don't sign any paperwork. You look at what you're doing. You get an attorney, and the attorney will give you instructions. If you don't have money for an attorney and you want to use the court-appointed attorneys, then you're going to have to make them work. And if they don't work, you have to get a new court-appointed attorney and a new one. It may take you 15, 20, 30 court-appointed attorneys till you finally get one that will fight. But, it's wrong what the CPS does. And, I'm so sorry, Lauren, Bella, and Zach there. Yep, they do have that many cases, Zach. Yep, you know about that, Zach. I'm glad you know about that. They will. Anybody that makes waves against CPS is a target for CPS. And I'm sad to say that it's that awful there. Bella's from Pennsylvania. That's right. Now I remember, you're from the east side of Philadelphia. Bella is BS. That's her handle, but her name is Bella. So I try to call people by their name. Lauren says that CPS showed up at my door when my daughter was in preschool, Head Start. My daughter will be 16 the day after Christmas. Oh boy. Your daughter's grown up from preschool now to high school. Wow, Lauren. I'm so glad, ask me questions and I'll try to help you. Now, that's my phone number. Now, if you're going to type in a comment, please use the format. It has to be about CPS, some type of question or comment, and then your first name, your city or county, state, and if you're from another country, your country and province. Now, I do speak to people. There's 18 countries that I've been talking to, from Bangladesh to India to the Middle East to Africa to Europe to across the pond to North America to South America, then to the Pacific to New Zealand and Australia. And I've had a lot of South Africans in here talking, 3 mothers in here. So it's very important that you type in that format so I know what they are. Now, Lauren further said, harassment, discrimination, and more. I'm writing my daughter on behalf of your daughter, who's half white, half black. Looks black, basically, from Tennessee. The city I live in is also a headquarters for, the notorious group, the extreme group that is wrong. I only want to give them credit. I don't want to even talk their name. I'm disgusted with the antics that group does. Zach from Tennessee from West Virginia, recently broke their CPS departments into 3 new departments, and primarily in order to separate CPS from, it's all the same. They can sit there and make all the acronyms they want, all the departments. The child protection system is very corrupt. It's very, 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 very corrupt. Now, another way that you can interact with this podcast is be a guest on my podcast. And I can take up to 9 people at one time. All you have to do is write in to my show producer, Grace, who can be emailed at grace@vincentwdavis.com. Now, I have 14 shows a week, twice a day. So you just pick a morning show or evening show. And I'm on at 10 o'clock typically in the morning and 7 o'clock at night. The reason why I'm on early this morning on Sundays, I go to church right after this podcast at 9 o'clock. So I like to have my podcast early. And on Saturdays, sometimes Vincent has a live podcast, so I'm on early at 8 o'clock. And next Saturday is the last of my football games that I go to, Friday Night Lights. So I'll be on early at 3 o'clock on the 14th. But anyway, email my show producer, grace@vincentwdavis.com. We'll get you on the show. We'll get you on the show. Now, Bella, who is the BS from Pennsylvania, the commissioners allocate money to CPS. I like to know who has commissioners. Is Pennsylvania have commissioners now with their CPS or other program judges? And when taking kids away, kids justify misuse of funds and fraud, especially if your court-appointed attorney does not represent you. I agree, Bella. I agree, Bella. That is true about that. That is true about that. Zach, who's from West Virginia, we also recently set a precedence for removing a judge absolute immunity. You can remove judges. There's ways you can remove judges and replace judges. You have to appeal to the judicial department at the state level. The judicial department. There's a way that you can do that. It does take time, but fighting this system is not going to get your kids back. I know that it really makes you upset because you're dealing with a rogue animal that does not care about you as a person. They do not want to reunify. They want to have your children remain because they need the money. They need the bonuses and incentives to pay their people. They're very corrupt. If you want to know how corrupt social workers are, all you have to do is look up in 2022, the Pink Ladies. These were 8 female social workers, all white, that worked out of Prescott, Arizona. And their department, the Department of Children's Services, they decided to purchase pink T-shirts, not because of breast awareness, because they wanted to stencil on the front. They wanted to draw attention. And on the front, they put professional child kidnappers. And on the back, they put parents, you know where your children are at. And they paraded around at Costco and Walmart, Target, Sears, Best Buy, all the major stores. And it sent out a really bad message to parents. They were caught, they were fired, and they fired the director. But that hurt the department because left them with only one person to try to watch after the kids and take care of them. So that's how corrupt the social workers are. They also will lie to the point where they commit perjury on the stands, and they retaliate. My youngest daughter, who was 12 at the time, was in the custody. She had been trafficked into CPS. Anyway, my wife's sister, whose family was determined to make her life hell, wanted to adopt our daughter. She's a good-looking daughter, well-behaved. And our attorney, Vincent Davis, was asking her some questions on the stand in front of court. And one of the questions he asked, what kind of a parent is my wife's sister and husband? He was asking the social worker that question. And the social worker very proudly said, and this social worker, by the way, was in her early 20s, had no high school degree, no license, no college degree, didn't know anything about the child protection system, and all she was interested in is money. She testified, oh, they're wonderful parents. And then he asked her, had they had any domestic violence? Oh, no domestic violence. Well, then he further asked her as he pulled out a folder of his briefcase, I have about 30 reports here. Let me read you one. And then he read the report from the police department about domestic violence between the two individuals. And he read another one and another one. And there were physical domestic violence where they were hitting and hurting each other. That's not the environment you want to bring a child in. The social worker was so embarrassed, she left the courtroom. And later she told us parents, you're never going to see your daughter again. And she threatened us. And you know what she did? She told a 12-year-old girl who didn't know very much, and, when she's a follower, that you need to emancipate yourself from your parents. That means in California, at age 12, you can divorce your parents. Not only did she divorce mom and dad, she divorced her 3 brothers, her 2 sisters, her both grandparents, both sets, her aunts and uncles and cousins. She divorced them all. And then on top of that, the social worker told her to change her name completely. She had a beautiful middle name. It was Hanalei. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world in Kauai. That was her middle name, and that's gone. The name that we created our daughter, her first and last name, or our name, is gone. And on top of that, she sealed her birth certificate. She was told to seal her birth certificate. Why? So that she can get a new birth certificate with her foster parents, and they become the parents. And she gets a secondary Social Security card. She now has drawn 2 times money from Social Security. Social Security is so dumb that they gave out another Social Security card to someone who changes their name and everything on there. That whole thing, the whole episode is wrong. So that's the kind of social workers out there. And I'm sorry to digress about me, but it hurts me that they get away with that. And today my daughter is 22 and she'll have nothing to do about seeing her parents. She does see her brothers, her 2 brothers, younger brothers. But, we encourage that. Now, Zach says, no, we are stripped the judge's immunity. Okay, well, I'm glad you did that. Lauren, who's from Eastern Tennessee, hey, so they're taking time into consideration. Can I call in tonight? Yes, you can. I'm on again tonight at 7 o'clock. I have a halfway lengthy story, details, and questions, and don't want to keep you late for church, but we'll call tonight for sure. Thank you, Lauren, but my show will end at 9 o'clock. It's 8:44, so I have about 15 minutes left of my show. But I thank you for your consideration, Lauren, and yes, you can call in tonight. Lauren further says, I hope that social worker was arrested. I'm sure she wasn't through, unfortunately. No, her retaliation, she can encourage the kids. You see, CPS can tell the kids anything they want. They can alienate the kids, which is against the law. They can traffic kids, which is against the law. Foster care is a quick way to adopt kids. I hate to say it, it isn't all it's meant to be. They do try, but they have very little training. In 6 months, you can be a foster care parent, and you can adopt a child in 6 months. Now, normally it takes a year or 2 before you can adopt a child and lots of money. There's not much vetting that goes on, too, to be a foster care. meaning you're not checked out by the state or the federal, your background check, vetting. And so it's real easy. That's why they have foster care. CPS controls foster care. You can control the parents. Not only are the foster care bad, but they're so bad that they abuse children. The father will rape the little child. Uh, the mother will torture the little child. Their own kids will bully the foster kids. It's a horrible experience. The other day, 2 days ago, Letitia had an 8-month son that was killed in the hands of CPS. Killed in the hands. She had placed, her child was taken, but her 8-month son was found dead in a pit. That's a ball, those colorful styrofoam balls that kids play on. But an 8-month child that couldn't walk was put in there because he was dead from all the abuse that they were getting. And that was all in the hands of CPS. And the mother is in tears. It's so hard. Yes, I lost my daughter, who I probably never see again, never get to hold her, never get to see her wedding or get to see her grow up, or go to her graduation college. I didn't get a chance to go to graduation in high school or middle school. I was always very involved with my daughter. My wife and I are very involved with our kids. So it is bad out there. It is so bad out there. Let me catch up with you guys. Yeah, they did arrest the social worker, Lauren. Bella says, denied a trial. Concerned into signing papers with threats of taking children to get my daughter back. They always do that. You have to be careful. Your attorney will advise you whether to sign papers or not. They make promises they don't keep. That's just the way of tricking you. You have to file appeals, yes. There's also statute of limitations. Don't let it go by. They terminate your rights. You got to file right away, usually within 15 days. And do make complaints against court officials, attorneys, and the CPS. But I have gone to the top. In fact, a couple months ago, one of my people that call in, a beautiful mom named Faye from Kentucky, we called the Capitol, Congress, and we're shocked that they answered. The operator got on, and I said, I want to speak to a senator. And they said, which one? And they gave me the phone number of the senator, and she was very candidly talking to us. So sometimes most of the things is, I go to the top. We have administration that just didn't represent the people that well. That was the thing is. And I hope our new administration is a businessman, has a proven track record. He'll make America great again. And one of the areas we need to do is the CPS. We need to be the CPS, Bella. Now, Lorraine says, your story, enunciation, name changes, that's absolutely awful. Karma will get them, though. Trust in that. I'm sorry you've been through this nightmare. Well, thank you, Lauren. But it is a nightmare that I relive every day I tell my story. And every time my kids go, in fact, Thanksgivings are no longer. I don't have Thanksgiving because my family of 8 is reduced to a family of 4. And this Thanksgiving, my 2 boys went to their sister's home, who was with her foster parents. Now, I encourage my sons, they're 19 and 25, so they're old enough. But I encourage them to keep in touch with family. And so my wife and I had no Thanksgiving. We delayed our Thanksgiving till the boys were available. on Monday of this past week. We had Thanksgiving. We're still eating turkey dinner. Now, Christmas is going to be awful too because one of my boys, they are paying to fly him back to be with the bad relatives that reported false accusations. Now, I cannot control, but I tell my son, you got to be careful. They are trying to get information from you. Um, Zach from West Virginia, man, sorry to hear your story. They do whatever they can to break up families and to make children who weren't abused get abused and abused children stay abused. It's a filthy business for money. Yes, it is, Zach. That was great on the spot. Bella from Eastern Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Bella, who's the handles the BS. They tried to have the same judge review my appeal that took my rights. Well, that is wrong. That's against law. You can't have the judge that you're making an appeal against review the appeal. My attorney said not seeing an issue with it. I had to make a refusal request. Yes, I'm glad you were smart enough to recognize that. Judges who make a ruling cannot rule on appeals against that judge. And that is ridiculous that your court-appointed attorney did that, Bella. I would chew that person up. That is wrong. I would file a complaint against that court-appointed attorney. Lauren says, what time was again you're on tonight? It is 7 p.m. Eastern Pacific Standard Time. That will be where you're at, Lauren, in you're in Eastern Tennessee. It's going to be 10 o'clock your time, Lauren, 10 o'clock your time. And Zach said to Bella, when you sign anything, write reserving all rights, the UCC code 308, or add a sign under duress. Yes, but first ask your attorney if it's okay to sign it. And be very careful with the fine print and the language there, Bella. And Zach, thank you for helping out from West Virginia. Right, not right. You can write there that you're signing, you do not agree with this, but you're signing under duress. You're signing under duress because they'll make false promises. And Lauren, anyone involved with them currently in the future, first figure out your state law. I need to catch up. I'm falling behind, I think, here. In Tennessee, persons involved in the conversation consenting to recording. Lauren says it is all needed, and that person can be you. So I'm reading it all, so I guess we'll see how that works out. Thank you, Lauren. BS Bella, I did file a complaint against everyone. Bradley listed whoever I can. Yes, under stress and duress, Zach. Thank you, Bella. That was good. And Bella, who's BS, said they would not let me sign under stress and duress. They can't. They can't. We live in a society of free will. If you don't like something, you can write on it. I do that a lot of times. And they not like it, but you have to do that, Bella. We need comments in these courtrooms. Well, we need more than that. You have to understand, These attorneys are are elected by the people. This being election year, it's already passed last November. All those all those judges in dependency court are elected by the people. And so we as the people got to weed through and put the right judges in. So the next 4 years from now, we'll have to make changes again. But you can appeal to the state capitals of your state, Bella, in Philadelphia. You go to the state capitol in Pennsylvania, and you can make a complaint. There are complaint forms. The internet is so valuable. My rule number 4 is to research the internet, but it's really important that you phrase your question right. You start off with the city, followed by the state, then you put the letters CPS, and you'd be surprised how much information you find. Then after the letters CPS, you can be more specific, like what are the policies, procedures, those kinds of questions. What is a 388 motion? What is a 160 hearing? What is ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1978? So there's a lot you could do there. Now, Lauren further says, yes, Bella. Lauren is agreeing with you, BS, Bella. And every CPS worker with a vested.com, like the cops, are supposed to wear. Yes, you need to have social workers with proper identification. If they do not have an ID that shows their name in their picture, then don't deal with that social worker. They'll lie about their names. That's why I tell people when you talk to social workers, make sure not only you get their name, but you see their ID. With the policeman, it's the badge number. They do have their name on, but you want to make sure you get their badge number. Those are important there. Thank you, Bella. And I don't know. Somehow, God bless you too, Bella. God bless you too from Philadelphia. The complaints against the social workers are licensed. Yes, social workers are not licensed. Some states, like Kentucky, say they're supposed to have a license, but they don't enforce it. I think all social workers need to have the minimum falling before they become a social worker. They need to have a college degree in social work and also have a minor as a clinical psychiatrist. They should have 2. They should have a Bachelor of Science in Social Work and a minor as a clinical psychiatrist. Further, they should have training as a minimum of 6 months training. And then they should mentor a social worker for a good year before they start to do social working. And they should have a license that's renewable. And that license should be like a lawyer has to have a license, a doctor has to have a license. Fighting CPS is like open heart surgery. You got to be careful. They're really tricky. And you need a professional attorney to fight them. You need a dependency, family, juvenile law attorney. Not a criminal attorney, not an immigration attorney, not a marriage attorney. You need someone that is in dependency law. Dependency law, that's what CPS uses, with a background in family and juveniles. Now we have our time that have reached. It's now 9:00, and I want to thank all my listeners and everybody that's coming to this room. We've had a lot of good discussion. I'll be on again tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 10 p.m. on the East Coast. But it's at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I welcome you all around the world, around the country. You are a big family, and I've been here for over a year, so I look forward to helping you again. And thank you, Bella, and thank you, Lauren, and thank you, Zach. You three people have really helped out a lot in this room, sharing what your experiences are. And I thank you for coming to this room this morning on Sunday. God bless you all. There'll be a brief message from my attorney. The date for his podcast is the 14th. And so I'll see you tonight. This is Bob Pace signing off.
Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out. Join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.